Welcome to our channel, Baking with the Bakers. Today, however, we will be crafting with the bakers. My name is Ashley, and I will be guiding you through how to make an adorable unicorn punch embroidery. Let's get started with part 1. First, let's get familiar with our kit. You should have received one embroidery hoop, various colors of yarn, a pre-printed pattern on your cloth, an adjustable needle with a threader, and a pattern color guide. You will also need scissors to cut your yarn. You'll begin by unscrewing and removing the outer embroidery hoop. Now, we will align the circle border printed on your cloth within the embroidery hoop. Straighten the pattern as much as possible. Place your outer hoop over the cloth as so. Then pull at the edges of the fabric to ensure that it is tight and to remove any wrinkles. Now tighten the screw of the outer hoop. Now, familiarize yourself with your punch needle. This particular one is adjustable. The longer your needle, the fluffier and longer your stitches will be, which we don't want for now. For beginners, it's best to use the shortest setting that's on the end. Let's introduce our threader. You'll insert it into the open end of the needle. Push it through entirely. Don't leave any hanging out. And it will exit at the end of the handle. Next, decide what color to begin with. I recommend starting in a small color block first. I'll be using this fuchsia color for the blush mark on the unicorn. Now you'll thread your needle. Insert your chosen color into the threader wires. Now you are going to pull the handle of the threader and watch for your yarn to exit the needle end. Once the tail is out, you can let it down. Remove the yarn from the threader. Then pull the excess yarn back through the handle. Look for the small hole on the back of your needle. Pick up your threader again and this time partially insert it into this tiny hole. Thread your yarn into the wires again and pull the threader back. Release the yarn from the wires and set the wires aside. You'll be left with a long tail, which we do not want. Gently and slowly pull the yarn back from the end of the handle, leaving about a 1.5-inch tail at your needle opening. Now for the enjoyable part. Select a starting point on the outline of your chosen color block. Keep the small hole of the needle and the tail of the yarn facing toward yourself, then gently pop the needle into the fabric. Press the needle in all the way to the handle. Turn your work over and grab the tail and gently pull it through so that it is now at the back of the work. Hold down the tail as you slowly bring the needle back out. You don't want to bring the needle out very far though, just enough to give you space to go down into the next stitch. Grab the tail again, hold it, remove your needle, move over a couple of stitches on the fabric, and push down. You'll repeat this around the outline of the color block. If you make a mistake and pull out too much yarn, like you see here, you don't want that. So pull gently on the back of the yarn coming from the handle. Don't pull too much though, because it will undo your past stitches. Just enough to where you can go in to your next stitch. Some people say after about 5 or 6 stitches, you don't have to keep grabbing the yarn underneath the project, but it just gives me more security and peace of mind to continue doing it, so I just do it my way. Also, when changing directions and following your pattern, it is best to keep the slanted part of the needle facing in the direction that you want to go, leaving the small hole in the tail facing the direction you just came from. If you want to turn your work to face you during any turns, remember to keep the small hole and the tail of the yarn facing toward you. Then, once you have your outline done, you can go in and make the stitches in the middle of the color block. This generally takes only a few stitches for small color blocks like this, but once you're done, leave your needle inserted, pull the tail out a bit, take your trusty scissors, and gently snip off the tail. And now that the tail's been snipped off, let's put our scissors aside and slowly remove our needle. And there we have our first color block. Some of your stitches may be a little wonky, but that's okay. Nobody's perfect. Thank you for crafting with me today, and I hope to see you in part 2.